Alright, so I do apologize for cutting the last video a little short. We only get 10 minutes to really make a video. So, but I'm going to continue on. The next script that we're going to go over is the Ansible version of the multi ec2 instance one. And that one's pretty much the same. I'm not going to do as much explanation as I did in the other one, because there's really no need to do that much explaining right now. Because if I go in here, the first thing that we're gonna do, only thing that I did outside of just removing the batch script, I added a few more variables. And now I forgot to explain what is Ansible for you guys who don't know. Ansible is mostly used for basically for deploying softwares and utilities. Basically, it's like a package management utility. And I use it mostly for installing softwares and things like that onto um, virtual machines and things of that nature. And it helps with being able to deploy solutions repeatably, just like how Terraform is. You can deploy like just like how you deploy multiple infrastructures repeatably using Terraform. You can deploy the same software solutions the same way repeatably using Ansible. And I love using both of those um, for my projects and for also my deployments as well. All right, so just give now. This is what I did. I did a few things. I did change a few things up. Uh, Now here I got a new variable called username, and I put that right here because I need to get the username. I now still have it so that the EC2 count is at 2. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to put it at 3. So right now that'll be 12. That'll be 12 EC2 instances that will be deployed at the same time. Um, then we got another variable down here at the bottom, and I got these are all just Ansible host files and playbooks. Basically, I just put the paths to my host file that I'm using and the playbook that I'm going to be using for this demonstration. Um, these are all variables, and then like I said, I'm going to basically go into the script, go into the code, and show you how they run. So now, now I'm going to go into the main here. Now this is where all the magic happens. Go here, like I said, I got rid of the template, the what is it, the user data template file that I was using. You see, because I didn't really need it because, like I said, I was using that for testing purposes and for the previous video, just to make sure that I know that all 4 EC2 instances were properly deployed. Sometimes I do that just because sometimes I'm lazy. I don't feel like logging into the console. And outside of doing, and that's the best way for me to notice sometimes. Um, but if I was an actual deployment, I probably just if I was an actual environment, most likely I just go ahead and log in the environment, or find some other way to figure out if that instance is up and online. But now here's where the magic happens. I create a file locally on my computer called an Ansible file. Then in that Ansible file, I want to basically create, and then I'm basically doing this based off the number of EC2 instances as well. I'm not creating 4 files of either. That's what I'm not doing. I'm not creating 4 files. The only reason I'm doing, I wanted to know the number of EC2 instances that's going to be counted. Then I'm putting the file path there, which is the ini file, the whole to the Ansible host file, and giving it the proper permissions that it need. And then what I'm doing is I'm going here, and what I'm doing is I'm doing a join, which I forgot what that parameter does off the top of my head. But what I'm doing is I'm basically creating a new line for every entry, and what I'm doing is I'm getting the public IP of every instance. When it creates the first I when it puts the first line of IP, put the first IP in, it goes to the next line, second line, third, first IP, then go down one line. The second IP go down another line. The third IP go down another line, and the fourth IP, and so forth and so forth. Then what I'm doing is I'm basically passing in my username, which I would needed to use, which is the EC2 user for most EC2 instances, and then we have the key pair, the keypad, what was it? The key pair, the path to the key to the PIM file, and then just basically setting up the port, just going over port 22, SSH, and all these other arguments. And then going down here, just doing, and this I do a remote test, and this is what I'm doing here with the provisioner, what is it, the remote executor, I guess that's what it is, but it's the provisioner. And what I'm doing is I'm having it so that on one of the machines, I wanted Terraform to go in and echo the line "Hello World." Basically, give me a test message back showing that this machine is online. And what it's doing is connecting via SSH, going to one of the IPs, just selecting any one of the IP, any of the instances, and it's logging in as ec2, and it's using the path to the public to the private key to the PIM key to log in. And then after it runs that, then it's going to wait. It's going to go to this local provisioner file, and then what it's going to do is going to come back. It's going to go from my local PC. It's going to run this command, and what it's going to do is going to wait 3 minutes before running. And the reason why I'm waiting 3 minutes is because I want to make sure that the EC2 instances are up and running before I have Ansible just log into them and starts deploying things. Then I grab my variable, which is my path to my ini file, and then also go to the playbook and then go ahead and start running. And that's what happens. Now, let's go ahead and just run this. First, let me go into the directory for it. Let me go to, what is it, TF. Let me do ANSI. Not spelled it right. Yep, I spelled it right. All right, so once again, had to do a Terraform init. Remember, when you're changing workspaces, you always got to perform a new init. And I already destroyed the environment on the other side, too. So what is going to happen is basically in a nutshell, this script is going to deploy, um, right now it's going to be 12 EC2s, and Ansible is going to go to each one and configure them all with Apache. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run our Terraform, and I'm not going to do a Terraform plan this time because I know the Terraform apply pretty much does the same thing as Terraform plan. So we're going to go ahead and just wait for the plan to finish. For the apply to finish. And it's going to take a while to deploy these, so I may have to go ahead and just put this video on pause beforehand. And it looks like Terraform loved our script, and it looks like it's going to deploy a whole bunch of stuff. So there's going to be 12 EC2 instances that this thing is going to deploy. And it's going to take a minute. So let's go ahead and start this process. All right, so we see we got some EBS volumes that just got created. That's a whole list of things. All right, so I'm going to pause right here, and then we're going to come back in the second part of this video, and we're going to show everything because it's already at 9 minutes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause right here, and I'm going to come back when this finishes. All right.